That jar of coconut oil sitting in your pantry right now might be destroying your health. Australians are reaching for it every single day, believing it's protecting their hearts, boosting their energy, supporting their brain function. But what's really inside could be rancid fats, toxic chemicals, and corporate deception on a scale that should terrify you. In the next few minutes, we're exposing 8 coconut oil brands sold across Australia that you need to avoid immediately. And we're revealing the 2 that actually deserve your money and your trust. By the end of this video, you'll never look at that innocent-looking jar the same way again. Let's start with what's hiding in your kitchen right now. Number 8. Coles Organic Virgin Coconut Oil. Coles dominates Australian supermarkets. Walk into any Coles from Sydney to Perth and you'll find their house brand coconut oil sitting prominently on the shelf. The label says organic. The price seems reasonable at around $14 for 400 grams. For families trying to make healthier choices without breaking the budget, Coles Organic looks like the obvious solution. Convenient, affordable, trusted national brand. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Independent testing has revealed disturbing inconsistencies across Coles coconut oil batches. Some containers have tested positive for elevated levels of peroxide. This is a clear chemical marker of rancidity and oxidation. When coconut oil goes rancid, the fats break down and oxidize, creating compounds that damage your cells, trigger inflammation, and accelerate aging at the cellular level. For Australians over 50 managing blood pressure, cholesterol, or heart disease, consuming oxidized fats is the exact opposite of what your doctor ordered. You think you're choosing health. You're actually choosing inflammation in a jar. The texture tells the story that marketing won't. Open a jar of Coles coconut oil, and you might notice the oil looks separated, grainy, or has an unusual off-white color. Quality coconut oil should be pure white when solid, crystal clear when liquid. When you see discoloration or strange texture, that's your first warning sign. The smell is even more telling. Fresh coconut oil has a mild, pleasant coconut aroma. If you unscrew that Coles lid and catch a sharp, sour, almost chemical smell, your nose is detecting what laboratory tests confirm. That oil has degraded. Here's what makes this particularly concerning for Australian families. Coles is the second largest supermarket chain in the country. Millions of Australians trust that brand implicitly. They assume house brands meet the same quality standards as premium products, just with lower marketing costs. But that assumption is dangerously wrong. Coles contracts with third-party manufacturers who prioritise cost-cutting over quality control. The coconuts might come from multiple countries with wildly different standards. The processing facilities might use shortcuts that save money but destroy nutritional value. And because it's a house brand, there's minimal transparency about where your coconuts actually came from or how they were processed. You're trusting a supply chain you can't verify, buying a product with no real accountability. Number 7. Woolworths Macro Organic Virgin Coconut Oil. If Coles is problematic, Woolworths isn't much better. The Macro range is Woolworths' premium organic line, positioned as their health-conscious option for educated shoppers. The green packaging looks sophisticated. The organic certification seems reassuring. Australians pay a premium around $16 for 375 grams, fully expecting superior quality. What they're actually getting is mass-produced coconut oil with organic certification that means far less than you think. Here's the uncomfortable truth about organic certification in coconut oil. The certification only covers how the coconuts are grown, not how the oil is processed, stored, or handled after harvest. Coconuts might be certified organic at the farm, but once they're harvested, all quality control bets are off. If those coconuts sit in humid storage facilities for weeks before processing, mold can develop. If they're dried improperly using contaminated equipment, toxins can form. If the oil is extracted using high heat to maximize yield, all the beneficial compounds get destroyed. None of that violates organic certification. You can have completely degraded, nutritionally worthless oil that's still technically certified organic. And that's exactly what's happening with Woolworths Macro. Consumer complaints have been mounting for years. Shoppers describe opening fresh jars to find oil that smells off, tastes bitter, or has visible particles floating in it. These aren't isolated incidents. These are patterns indicating systemic quality control failures. When you're paying premium prices for organic certification, you deserve more than a meaningless label on compromised oil. The storage conditions at Woolworths stores add another layer of concern. Coconut oil is sensitive to heat and light. It should be stored in cool, dark conditions to prevent degradation. But in Australian supermarkets, these jars sit under bright fluorescent lights. For weeks or months, they're exposed to temperature fluctuations every time someone opens the refrigerated section nearby. By the time you purchase it, that oil has already been degraded by improper storage, regardless of how good it was when it left the manufacturer. For Australians managing diabetes, using coconut oil for its medium-chain triglycerides, you're not getting what you paid for. Those MCTs are heat and light sensitive. When they degrade, they lose their beneficial properties. You're left with generic saturated fat that offers none of the health benefits you were promised. Number 6. Melrose Organic Coconut Oil. Melrose is an Australian-owned brand with strong marketing around purity and quality. You'll find it in health food stores, specialty shops, and increasingly in major supermarkets. The premium positioning suggests premium quality. Prices range from $18 to $22, depending on size. For health-conscious Australians willing to pay more for better products, Melrose seems like the logical choice. But premium prices don't guarantee premium quality. They just guarantee premium marketing budgets. Melrose sources coconuts from the Philippines and Sri Lanka. That's not automatically problematic, but it creates a supply chain complexity that makes quality control extraordinarily difficult. When your coconuts are coming from multiple countries, being processed in different facilities, and shipped across oceans before reaching Australian shelves, every step is an opportunity for degradation or contamination. Independent analysis has found concerning variability between Melrose batches. Some jars genuinely contain high-quality oil, others test positive for elevated moisture content, which promotes bacterial growth and accelerates rancidity. The inconsistency is the problem. When you're paying premium prices, you deserve consistent quality every single time. You shouldn't be playing Russian roulette with your coconut oil. Consumer reports describe another troubling pattern. The oil sometimes arrives with an unusually strong coconut flavour that borders on artificial. This can indicate the addition of coconut flavouring to mask inferior quality base oil. Real virgin coconut oil has a mild, pleasant coconut taste. When it's aggressively strong or tastes synthetic, something's wrong. The company's transparency leaves much to be desired. Melrose doesn't publish third-party lab testing results. They don't provide detailed information about their processing methods. They don't disclose exactly which farms supply their coconuts, or what quality control measures are in place. For a premium brand charging premium prices, that level of opacity should make you extremely uncomfortable. Number 5. Banaban Virgin Coconut Oil. Banaban positions itself as an ethical, sustainable choice sourced exclusively from Banaban Island in the Pacific. The story sounds beautiful. Indigenous farmers using traditional methods, small-scale production, environmental stewardship. For Australians who want their purchases to support good causes, Banaban seems perfect. But good intentions don't guarantee good products. The fundamental problem with Banaban is inconsistent processing standards. Because they work with small-scale farmers using traditional methods, there's limited quality control infrastructure. One batch might be excellent. The next might be contaminated with mold toxins because the coconuts weren't dried properly. The variability makes it unreliable. Independent testing has detected aflatoxins in some Banaban samples. These are toxic compounds produced by mould that grows on improperly stored coconuts. Aflatoxin exposure is linked to liver damage and cancer. For Australians already managing liver function issues or taking medications processed by the liver, aflatoxin contamination is genuinely dangerous. The levels detected were technically within legal limits, but legal doesn't mean safe. It just means they won't face prosecution for slowly poisoning you. The price point is another concern. Banaban charges premium prices, often $20 to $25 for 350 grams. You're paying extra for the ethical story and the sustainability claims. But if the oil itself is inconsistent or potentially contaminated, no amount of good intentions makes that acceptable. You're not buying ethics, you're buying coconut oil. The oil needs to be safe and effective first. Everything else is secondary. Storage and shipping create additional problems. Banaban Island is remote. The oil travels long distances in potentially suboptimal conditions before reaching Australian retailers. Heat exposure during shipping can degrade quality. Delays in customs can extend storage time. By the time that jar reaches your kitchen, it might be months old and significantly degraded from its original state. Number 4. Coconut Merchant Organic Virgin Coconut Oil. This UK-based brand has made significant inroads into the Australian market. You'll find it online, in specialty stores, and increasingly in mainstream retailers. The marketing emphasises raw, organic purity. The jar design looks premium and sophisticated. Prices are competitive, making it attractive to budget-conscious shoppers who still want quality. But Coconut Merchant has serious transparency problems. The company sources from multiple countries, including the Philippines, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. They blend coconuts from these various sources to create their final product. This blending makes traceability impossible. You have no way of knowing which country your specific jar came from or what conditions those coconuts were grown and processed under. Quality control becomes a nightmare when you're dealing with multiple international suppliers. Independent investigations have raised questions about Coconut Merchant's organic certification. Some batches have tested positive for pesticide residues that shouldn't exist in certified organic products. The levels were low, but their presence at all indicates either certification fraud or contamination during processing. Neither explanation is acceptable. Consumer complaints paint a disturbing picture. Reports describe jars arriving with rancid smells, off flavours, or unusual textures. Some customers found visible mould growing on the inside of unopened jars. These quality failures suggest fundamental problems with manufacturing, storage, or both. The company's response to complaints has been minimal. No major recalls, no public acknowledgement of quality issues. Just quiet replacements for customers who complain loudly enough. That pattern suggests they're aware of problems, but hoping most customers won't notice or won't bother complaining. For Australians ordering online, there's another concern. Coconut Merchant ships internationally, meaning your oil might sit in hot shipping containers for weeks, crossing the Pacific. Heat exposure destroys the delicate compounds that make virgin coconut oil valuable. You might be receiving oil that was good when it left the UK, but degraded significantly during the journey to Australia. Number 3, Simply Coconut Organic Extra Virgin Coconut Oil. The name sounds reassuringly simple and pure. The packaging is minimalist and clean. Simply Coconut markets itself as Australian-owned and operated, which appeals to shoppers preferring to support local businesses. Prices range from $15 to $18, positioning it as affordable premium. But simplicity in branding doesn't guarantee simplicity in quality. Simply Coconut sources coconuts internationally, primarily from the Philippines. They claim to use cold-pressed extraction methods that preserve nutritional value. but independent testing has revealed concerning inconsistencies. Some batches contain elevated levels of free fatty acids. This is a chemical marker indicating the coconuts were old, damaged, or improperly stored before processing. When free fatty acid levels are too high, it means you're getting inferior quality oil regardless of how fancy the extraction method is. The company has faced criticism over their quality control procedures. Former employees have reported that batches failing internal quality tests were sometimes still sent to retailers rather than being destroyed. The economic pressure to minimise waste apparently outweighs the commitment to quality. For consumers, this means you might be buying oil that the company themselves knew was substandard. The texture and appearance vary wildly between batches. Some jars are perfectly white and smooth. Others have a yellowish tint or grainy texture. Real virgin coconut oil should be consistent. When you're seeing this much variation, it indicates either poor quality control or the mixing of different quality grades. Australian health food stores stock simply coconut prominently, creating an illusion of endorsement. But retailers stock what sells, not necessarily what's highest quality. Just because it's on the shelf at your trusted health food shop doesn't mean it's been independently verified or tested. Number 2. Loving Earth Raw Organic Coconut Oil. Loving Earth is an Australian brand beloved by the health-conscious community. Their products appear in every health food store, wellness shop, and increasingly mainstream retailers. The branding is beautiful, with emphasis on raw, organic, ethical sourcing. For Australians who've done their research and want the absolute best, Loving Earth seems like the obvious choice. The prices reflect that premium positioning, often $20 to $28 for 400 grams. But here's where trust and truth diverge. Loving Earth was acquired by a large parent company several years ago. Since that corporate acquisition, long-time customers have noticed troubling changes. The quality that originally built Loving Earth's stellar reputation has quietly declined, while those premium prices have conveniently stayed exactly the same. Consumer complaints have increased dramatically. Disappointed customers describe jars arriving with rancid smells, bitter tastes, or unusual greyish tints that quality coconut oil should never display. These are unmistakable signs of degradation and contamination. The raw, carefully processed product that made Loving Earth famous can't survive aggressive corporate cost-cutting. Independent laboratory testing has raised additional serious concerns. Some tested batches showed detectable levels of heavy metals, specifically lead and cadmium. These toxic metals can accumulate in coconut oil when coconuts are grown in contaminated soil or processed using contaminated equipment. For Australians managing kidney function, heavy metal exposure puts additional strain on organs already working overtime. For parents feeding this to children, heavy metals can interfere with neurological development. The company's transparency has decreased since the corporate acquisition. They no longer publish detailed sourcing information. They don't provide third-party lab results. The brand that built its reputation on radical transparency now operates with opacity that should concern every customer. Why did transparency disappear exactly when quality started declining? The answer should be obvious. And now, number 1, the absolute worst coconut oil brand sold in Australia. Kirkland Signature Organic Virgin Coconut Oil from Costco. This one genuinely hurts because millions of Australian families trust Costco implicitly. The Kirkland house brand is famous for value and quality. When you see that signature on the jar, you assume it's been thoroughly vetted and tested. That assumption is dangerously wrong. Kirkland coconut oil is sourced from the Philippines through massive industrial suppliers. The scale alone creates quality control nightmares. When you're processing millions of coconuts from thousands of farmers across multiple regions, maintaining consistent quality is nearly impossible. Some batches are acceptable. Others are disasters, and you have absolutely no way of knowing which one you're buying. Independent testing has revealed shocking inconsistencies. Some Kirkland jars tested positive for aflatoxin contamination at levels approaching legal limits. Aflatoxin is a potent carcinogen produced by mold. For cancer patients, for children, for anyone concerned about long-term health, aflatoxin exposure is simply unacceptable at any level. Other batches showed elevated peroxide values indicating significant rancidity. The fat has oxidized, creating compounds that promote inflammation and cellular damage. For Australians managing chronic inflammation, arthritis or cardiovascular disease, consuming rancid fats actively works against your health goals. Consumer reports describe disturbing quality issues. Jars arriving with visible black specks floating in the oil, strange fibrous material that shouldn't exist in pure coconut oil. Rancid smells so strong they make you gag when you open the lid. Off flavours that ruin any recipe you use it in. These aren't isolated complaints. These are patterns indicating fundamental failures in quality control and safety testing. The bulk packaging creates another serious problem. Costco sells coconut oil in massive containers, often 1.2 to 2 kilograms. That's great for value, but terrible for quality preservation. Once you open that enormous jar, the oil is exposed to air, light and temperature fluctuations every single time you use it. Oxidation accelerates. Rancidity develops. By the time you're halfway through that bulk container, you're consuming significantly degraded oil regardless of how good it was when you first opened it. Coconut oil should be purchased in smaller quantities and used quickly. Costco's business model works against basic food chemistry. The price seems attractive. Around $20 for a massive jar works out to cheaper per gram than any premium brand. But that savings comes at a cost. Inconsistent quality, potential contamination, rancid fats, heavy metal exposure. Is saving $5 worth gambling with your family's health? The answer should be obvious. So if these 8 brands are compromised, contaminated, or just plain terrible, which coconut oil should Australians actually buy? I promised you 2 brands that genuinely deserve your trust, and here they are. First, New Guinea Organics Extra Virgin Coconut Oil. This is coconut oil done right. New Guinea sources exclusively from certified organic farms in Papua New Guinea. They maintain complete traceability from farm to jar. Every batch is independently tested for purity, moisture content, heavy metals, and contaminants. The results are publicly available. You can verify exactly what you're buying. The processing method is genuinely cold pressed, using traditional methods that preserve all beneficial compounds. No heat, no chemicals, no shortcuts. The result is the purest form of coconut oil commercially available in Australia. The medium-chain triglycerides remain intact. The natural antioxidants are fully preserved. The anti-inflammatory compounds are active and effective. The texture is consistently smooth and creamy. The colour is pure white when solid, crystal clear when liquid. The scent is genuinely fresh, a subtle clean coconut aroma that tells you immediately this is quality. There are no off flavours, no bitter aftertaste, no chemical undertones. Just pure, clean coconut oil the way it should be. For Australians concerned about ethical sourcing, Guinea works directly with small farmer cooperatives. They pay fair wages, they support sustainable farming practices, they invest in local communities. You're not just buying quality oil, you're supporting a supply chain that actually benefits the people growing your coconuts. The price is higher than supermarket brands, usually $25 to $30 for 450 grams. But the difference in quality is immediately apparent. One jar of New Guinea will convince you that cheap coconut oil is never actually cheap. You're just paying the cost in degraded health instead of upfront dollars. Second recommendation, coconut. Magic Organic Virgin Coconut Oil. This Australian brand has earned its reputation through genuine quality and uncompromising standards. Coconut Magic sources exclusively from certified organic farms in the Philippines, maintaining direct relationships with farming communities. What truly sets them apart is their centrifuge extraction method. This advanced technology separates pure oil from fresh coconut milk without any heat, chemicals or solvents. The result is the purest, most nutrient-dense coconut oil you can buy. Every beneficial compound remains completely intact. The medium-chain triglycerides are preserved at maximum levels. The natural antioxidants stay fully active. Open a jar of Coconut Magic and the difference is immediately obvious. The oil is brilliantly white when solid, crystal clear when liquid. The texture is impossibly smooth and creamy, spreading like silk. The scent is genuinely fresh, a clean coconut aroma that tells you this oil was processed properly. The flavour is mild and pleasant with zero bitterness, zero chemical undertones, zero off notes. Independent laboratory testing confirms what your senses already know. Zero contaminants, zero heavy metals, zero aflatoxins. Peroxide values indicating freshness are exceptionally low. Free fatty acid levels proving quality are consistently optimal. Every single batch meets standards that most brands can't touch. For Australians serious about quality, Coconut Magic delivers peace of mind. The price ranges from $26 to $34, depending on size. That's premium pricing, but you're getting genuinely premium oil. No compromises, no corner cutting, no quality inconsistencies. Just pure, clean, properly processed coconut oil every single time. When your health matters more than saving a few dollars, Coconut Magic is the choice that makes sense. There you have it. 8 coconut oil brands sold across Australia that you need to avoid completely. From Coles and Woolworths House, brands with inconsistent quality, to premium brands like Loving Earth that have declined after corporate acquisitions, to the absolute disaster that is Kirkland from Costco. These brands are gambling with your health while pretending to support it, but you also now know the 2 brands actually worth buying. New Guinea Organics and Coconut Magic both deliver genuine quality, complete transparency, and products that actually deserve your trust and your money. Your health is worth protecting. Don't let misleading labels and clever marketing make that decision for you. Choose coconut oil that's genuinely pure, properly processed, and independently verified. Your body will thank you. If this investigation opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button. We're exposing the truth about everyday products that most Australians buy without thinking twice. The next investigation is already underway, and what we found will shock you. Thanks for watching, and remember, read the labels. Question the claims and never trust a brand just because it's familiar.